On-screen C-3PO R2-D2 a dynamic duo with 3PO playing Laurel to R2-D2's party.
I don't know what all this trouble is about, but I'm sure it must be your fault. You watch your language.
R2-D2 is sassy and even gutsy at times, as opposed to C-3PO, who is definitely the resident chicken.
George Lucas has this strange propensity to pull 3PO apart, an arm here, a leg there, and it can be quite painful, I have to tell you, and it ain't stopped yet.
Found him in a junk pile.
What a mess.
But 3P's not entirely yellow-bellied. Daniels recalls his favorite scene from Return of the Jedi.
There was Han Solo, who kind of always gave C-3PO a hard time, you'll remember. And there was this moment where 3PO took great pleasure in being able to tell him that
It appears you are to be the main course at the banquet in my honor.
3PO likes that.
And you'll like what's coming up next. When we come back, Star Wars racy romances.
Because I'm a scoundrel. I'm a scoundrel in your life.
I happen like nice men.
And we'll also see how Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman turn on the heat for Attack of the Clones.
Let's continue our look at the force of Star Wars. The heroes and heroines of this epic tale may be busy fighting the dark side, but that doesn't mean there's no time to fall in love.
All is fair in love in Star Wars. There's passion, jealousy, and seduction. We asked romance novelist Suzanne Enoch where Star Wars fit within the world of romantic fiction.
Han Solo and Princess Leia are very classic romance characters, and they have a very classical fairy tale type romance.
Who are you?
In a good romance, you have two incomplete people, and it's something that the other character provides that completes them that is the great love relationship. So you've got bad boy Han Solo, and you have to have a good heart, otherwise it doesn't work.
I love this sort of like on-again, off-again romance with Han Solo and Princess Leia, and those sort of almost kisses and moments that are so like kind of sexy and yet subdued.
I can arrange that.
And then you've got Princess Leia, and she's this gung-ho, work-only, very dedicated, very focused lady who needs some fun in her life.
I happen like nice men. Very nice.
Harrison Ford is very handsome. When I saw Star Wars the first time, I fell in love with Luke Skywalker. And then 15 minutes later, we meet Han Solo.
I've been waiting for you.
And that was it. Luke who? I think Princess Leia's appeal in the first movie especially was more to girls than to guys, in that she was a cool character and she's a princess.
We used to dress up like characters for Halloween. My sister was Princess Leia for like 4 years in a row. That was one of the things where I couldn't wait to get to Hollywood. After I saw the first Star Wars, it was like, I could have been Princess Leia.
But Han was not the only leading man in Leia's life.
I love you.
I know.
Remember, there was also her brother?
Once you've seen the whole trilogy and you go back and you watch it again, the ick factor definitely comes into play, because every time they kiss, you're going, ew, they don't even know their brother and sister and they're kissing.
I've always said that's like the greatest good news, bad news joke I'd ever heard, because yes, there is an eligible woman in the galaxy.
Fairly early on in Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo and Leia, their attraction is brought up very quickly, thank goodness. Because if the love triangle thing has proceeded through the movie, we've been telling a whole very different, sordid story.
There is, however, a new love story George Lucas wants to tell in Attack of the Clones. Lucas created a steamy romance between the characters Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala.
He went back to the drawing board and really worked on getting women into the theaters for this movie.
I think that will drive some of the Star Wars fans crazy. I, however, think that teenage girls are going to really go for it.
Most young girls in the audience will be there for one reason.
Hayden Christensen is also a very good-looking young man. People like a bad boy, a scoundrel, but not necessarily someone who's arrogant about it. Natalie Portman is a very attractive young lady. I think she'll be a good draw for the young do come in.
She's just a phenomenal star, just a presence on the screen that people cannot take their eyes off her when she's on.
She goes from being this really stiff, white, made-up, blank-faced female in the first movie into wearing these tighter-fitting costumes, the slightly sexier look that she has in the new movie.
Unlike the relationship between Han and Leia, this love story will not have a happy ending. Don't forget that Anakin Skywalker eventually becomes the evil Darth Vader.
The romance in Attack of the Clones, I think, is very problematic. We know it's going to end very, very, very badly.
This is a budding romance that's very flowery and very grab my heart and stomp on it and break it.
If Hayden Christensen does it right, it's going to be like watching a train wreck.
There's a lot of weight for the role of Anakin, but I don't know. I'm excited more than anything else.
If you're not as excited as Hayden yet, we've still got more to come. When we return, we'll see how employees of toy stores and theaters across the nation are preparing for Attack of the Clones.
We've taken you deep inside the intricate characters and relationships that define the Star Wars series. Now, let's take a look at the incredible anticipation that surrounds each new Star Wars release.
This latest Star Wars saga comes 3 years after the release of Phantom Menace, so there was plenty of interest in Attack of the Clones when Toys R Us held its Midnight Madness sale. The event was for shoppers who wanted to be the first to get their hands on the new merchandise.
There is an agreement amongst all those who sell Star Wars products that they won't sell until the 23rd of April. And since at 1 second after midnight on the 22nd, it becomes the 23rd of April, Midnight Madness has become an event that is the first launch of new product for Star Wars. We will have major Star Wars shops in every store in the United States, and upon release, every store in the world. And so this is one of the most exciting things that will happen in the year 2002 is a new Star Wars film. The supply will not meet the demand at all for the first few months. And so the real diehard collectors who've been doing this for more than 20 years will come out tonight.
If I leave with enough money to be able to pay my rent, I know I haven't bought enough toys. We're going to be spending a lot of money, though. Over $500.
It's really easy to get caught up in this mentality when there's so many people clamoring for the same thing. You feel like, oh, I'm missing out on something if I don't get it, but we have a mature distance.
I had all the toys. Now I have a little kid, so I can buy him all the toys or give him all the toys that I have, and if I don't ever get another acting job, I can always use that stuff to put him through college.
Vehicles and lightsabers are popular toys, but the most coveted items are the action figures.
It's weird to have toys of you, but it's kind of cool, too, because it's really fun to, make kids happy. And I just don't like it when my sister goes, "Hey, Jake, you can fly," and throws my action figure down the stairs.
Even Star Wars creator George Lucas has his favorite items.
I think the two things that I got the most joy out of, one was an R2-D2 cookie jar, and the other was a Chewbacca mug. I still have those on my desk.
Toy stores are packing them in, but theaters are also ready for the rush. The world-famous Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood has a history of attracting large crowds of Star Wars fans.
When you think about coming to see a spectacular piece of film and you want to see it in all of its scope and glory, this is the place to do it. Both Star Wars and Grauman's Chinese Theater are both icons of Hollywood. When the original Star Wars came out, I don't think that anyone, even the studios, really knew what sort of phenomenon it would be, so obviously the theater wasn't really prepared.
Word got out that this sci-fi movie would open up in Grauman's, I think, and then people told their friends, and then there were lines around the block.
Our manager at the time, a man by the name of Elmer Haynes, showed up to work as usual at 8 o'clock in the morning, and lo and behold, the forecourt is completely packed with people, sleeping bags, everything, lined up both ways around the block, and he was stunned.
I was there at the Grauman Chinese for the opening.
I didn't get a chance to see it till like the fourth day I tried because it had sold out, so many shows. And then when I saw it, I must have went back to the theater about 10 or 15 times.
Luckily, the staff at Grauman's Chinese had about 20 years to prepare for the new trilogy.
The line for The Phantom Menace started about 5 months before the opening of the film, and people stretched all around the block. For the first week of the film, they ran showtimes 24 hours a day.
I camped out for 28 hours so I could get tickets for Phantom Menace.
For Attack of the Clones, our preparations
kind of mirror what we did for Phantom Menace. We're upping our staff. We're preparing the barricades, extra security.
It seems the only question about Episode 2 is whether it will be as successful as Episode 1.
I could say right now that it probably will end up doing well over 300 million, maybe in the 350 million range if possible. It's not as much as Phantom Menace. There has to be a little bit of loss of interest, and also there's so much competition now compared to what there was when Phantom Menace opened.
From Spider-Man to Men in Black to Star Wars, 2002 could be one of the biggest box office summers of all time. All right, before we go, it's time for another installment of 6 Degrees of Star Wars with Taffy Pillsbury. This time, Taffy, you are not allowed to use Luke or Anakin Skywalker. Here's your final challenge. Create a relationship chain between Jar Jar Binks and the smooth-talking friend of Han Solo, Lando Calrissian.
Okay, this one I'll even do it backwards for you. See, Lando is an old buddy of Han Solo who's in love with Princess Leia. Leia is the daughter of Queen Amidala, who worked with Jar Jar Binks to save the planet of Naboo from the Trade Federation. How's that?
That was perfect. Thanks, Taffy.
That's our special inside peek at the Star Wars series. Now get ready for Attack of the Clones. I'm Samuel Jackson. Enjoy the show.
What took us so long?